Hello and welcome back to John's Random Reviews. How the fuck are you? I know I'm supposed to stop swearing, but fuck it, right? Anyway, today, on this bright, crisp autumn morning, we're going to talk about SDS drills, but more specifically, 12-volt SDS drills. So currently, I'm using this 12-volt CXT SDS drill. Now then, look at this little beauty. Very, very light. Come in a little bit. It's only about 2.5 kg. I've got a 4 amp battery on it, and if I'm drilling into sort of brick or block, not so good in concrete this, it's not got a lot of power to be honest with you, but mainly I'm putting in red plugs with a 5.5mm drill bit. So this is really, really light, easy to use one-handed, dead easy. If you're up a ladder or on a stretch, up there, it's a doddle, but only for small bits. Now then, let's have a little chat, me and you and me, about SDS drills. Now then, the SDS drill is, well, it's a little bit of a, it's not confusing. The SDS system was invented by Bosch and came out in 75 roughly, and really what Bosch did was develop the actual drill bit. So what the SDS, there is a little bit of controversy about the naming of it, but when I've asked Mr. Google, it says SDS is slotted drive system. So you see these slots here? They're the slots that keep the drill bit sort of in the actual chuck. And these little bits here is where the ball bearing sits to stop the bit coming out. Now then, in 1967, Hilti was the first company to bring out a rotary hammer system. Now, most people think of SDS drills as just the whole thing, the drill bit and the drill body. But Hilti was the first manufacturer, and I think it's 67, to come out with a rotary hammer system. Now, what is a rotary hammer system? Well, in here, I might actually take one of my other drills to bits to show you. But instead of a percussion drill bit, this is a percussion drill bit here, and I've got a demo on the inside of this one. This is a different model, but if you look up here closely, the percussion bit is this bit here. See how it rattles against there, them little lugs clatter. So in reality, it's more like an impact driver the way it works. It just sort of bumps off these bumps, if you say, that's a bit technical, and it turns it into a hammer drill. This is the same as what's in here. Let's get it going. You'll be able to hear it. You see, it sounds like an impact driver. But this works in a different way. The actual rotation of the drill bit is separate from the hammer action. On the back of here, it's got this plate here. And on the back of there's a hammer that works independently of the rotation that drives to the back of here, and hundreds and hundreds of times a minute, it hammers that. So it's rotating, and the hammering and the rotation are independent. What that does, if you're drilling into really, really hard concrete or granite, where at the school I work, they have this stuff called blue rag, which is like a blue slate, and it is mega, mega, mega hard. If I had one of these percussion bits, I wouldn't even attempt to drill it. But even with this, if I was driving a 5.5mm drill bit into like this blue rag or granite, it would be slow going, but I'd be able to manage it. I wouldn't want to do all day. If I was really doing some hardcore drilling with bigger bits, I'd use this. Oh, this monster. This is my go-to drill for drill bits, drilling into concrete above 10mm, let's say. This will do a 22mm hole in concrete, no problem. Oh, it's really good on chiseling, but this is obviously on a different platform. This is the XGT platform. We're just going to give a quick overview of this. This is my XGT 40-volt SDS drill, and it is massive. You can hold it one-handed, but if you're an old gadget like me, you're going to fucking hurt your wrist. It's a two-handed sort of drill, and it is mental. It's absolutely brilliant. I think there's 2 models after this, but I've no reason to change this because it's brilliant for big. I was drilling this blue rag, sticks drilling this blue rag stone the other day, and it was absolutely amazing. But we're not talking about that today. So you might be asking me, was there an SDS drill before the CXT system? We're not talking about the LXT system. We're talking pre-2006. And that was on the nickel cadmium batteries. Yes, there was. So, we're going to put this to one side, take the bit out, and we're going to talk about this. Now, a few people out there might not have seen this drill, because obviously it's quite old, even though this model is actually 2007, not that old. This is when LXT came out and they're still producing this 12 volt SDS drill. But I've seen models of this online on eBay, and I think I've seen a 1998 model. So when this came out of the factory, I'm going to call it 10 years ago, they were still making this. It could be creeping into sort of like the mid-90s when they produced this drill. 12 volt. It's on the nickel cadmium system. Now, there's a bit of a... You're going to call me a hypocrite here. I know you are. I know you are. Because, you know, I've done waffling on about not liking Makita batteries. This is a copy Makita battery. Now, the reason I've got one for this drill is because I bought this drill off eBay or Facebook Marketplace for about 20 quid or something. It came with a battery, but the battery was shot. And it's really hard to get original ones of these Makita batteries. You can buy second-hand ones, and it's a bit of a sort of like risky, because it could be knackered anyway. But this is a copy Vanon Makita compatible battery, 12 volt, 4.8 amps, and it's a nickel cadmium battery. So yes, it is a copy battery, but it fits perfectly. We'll have a quick look at this drill. Obviously it's a different beast to this completely. It's bigger. It's about the same weight, but it's got big. I think it's got a bigger motor in. What we'll do is, first of all, we'll run this one. Yeah, oh, this one sounds a lot better, more powerful. Now the differences between these two, obviously this one's a lot bigger, but this one has got a capacity to do chisel only. So it's got 3 settings here. That's normal drilling if you're drilling into wood or steel. That's hammer drilling, and that is chiseling. This this drill here just has normal drilling and hammer drilling. So the actual both of these drills have got variable triggers. We'll try this one. So you can do a bit of a slow start. The variable trigger on this is a lot better. Watch this. Look how slow that is. Obviously, this is a lot newer. I think this one is about, my drill here is about 7 years old, and I think you could probably get this about 13 years ago, 14 years ago. So it's a lot newer than this one. Now, look at these little bumps here. This is a bit weird. When I first saw these 2 little bumps here, and I thought there was a cable behind there, it's melted. But I've looked at other pictures. That must be just part of how the cables route through the actual clamshell. But I don't think that's a problem. So that is this drill, mid-90s to late 90s. You could buy this 12 volt SDS drill. Right, so this is the Makita 12 volt DR160D, which was from the mid-90s, sort of. You could buy it from the mid-90s all the way to 2007, 2008. At this time when this came out, you couldn't buy an 18 volt Makita SDS. Well, I hope I've got that right. I've done a little research and I don't think you could. But before this, was there another SDS drill? Yes, there was. Now this is a really, really rare drill. I didn't even know this existed until about 6 months ago. Now a lot of people might not have seen this thing. This is a rotary hammer drill, an SDS drill. Now there isn't a date on this. Well, look at this. Look at this. We'll get the model number, 8015D, and this is a German drill. I got this from Germany. A chap from Germany. I saw this on eBay, and first impressions was, oh my god, what the hell is this? I've never seen one before. Never seen anyone with one. Didn't even know it existed. I'm sort of familiar with the kind of these old Makita drills, kind of like this sort of style. This is probably from late 80s. So it's sort of similar, it's got some similarities. Pepper, come on, he's blooming. You know you're beautiful, but need to get on with the filming. Pepper, get down. It hasn't got a date on this. I've tried to find a date. I was hoping to see a date in the clamshell, but that wasn't to be. So I'm going to guess it's probably 1990. So, what's that? 1990. 33 years old, could be early 90s, could be late 80s. But until recently, I didn't know this existed. This 12-volt drill had its own dedicated battery and dedicated charger. Now, when I got this from the chap in Germany, he had the battery with it, but he said the battery was dead and he wouldn't post me the battery because he didn't want to do it, post it. It can be quite dangerous posting batteries. And I even said to him, well, just split the battery apart, take the cells out, and just sell me the outer casing of the battery so I can have a look what it looks like. I've seen another on eBay recently, which I'm trying to kind of get hold of, just to see if I can get the battery. The battery goes in here. So I wanted to give this a test, so I thought, come in a little bit and I'll show you how I got round not having the battery. Okay, still got this metal bottom bit on here, which flips open like that. That's meant to be like that. And in here slots the Makita battery. What I've done, clever John, is converted it to a CXT battery. So this is a CXT 4 amp battery. And look at that. That clicks in like that. And that just slides up there. Can't get this bit back on. I know it looks a bit daft. But it works. Let's see if it can working. This drill has got no variable trigger. It's on or off. Well, it does. Sorry, it does. I didn't think it did. It does. Sounds like it's got a lot of power, doesn't it? Right. This is a little exciting little extra bit. This is the inside of that really old Makita SDS drill. You can see I have my adapter bit there. It's made out of one of them USB chargers. So that's worked okay. I think there's something quite interesting I read about this switch here. On the bit earlier on in the video, I sort of mentioned that well, at first I thought it wasn't variable speed, but then I found out it was. And I think this is one of the earliest variable speed switches to go in a Makita tool. That's what I've heard. Anyway, so regarding the SDS rotary hammer system, and I remember he's saying that it was kind of like the actual rotation of the drill and the hammer action are separated. This is how they did it in this one. This is really old. I haven't got another one to take apart. But you can see this is obviously the motor runs parallel with the actual shaft of the drill. Now on the other 12 volt, the new 12 volt one that I've got, it's kind of there. And then they're sort of like the middle range one with the nickel cadmium batteries. The actual motor's over here. Anyway, if I turn this cog, so this is the drive off the motor. And this goes onto this big cog here. And when I rotate this, you can see it rotates the main shaft. But if you follow it along here, it goes onto this, don't know what that gear's called, there's a name for that, anyway. And it goes onto a cam, with like a cam arm. Sort of like on a car sort of thing. You can see like a piston that runs around there. Like that, like so. I'm not going to take this to bits, but back of here there's a hammer. There's like a spring and a hammer that smacks against the back of the drill bit as it sits in there. Now these grooves here, this is quite interesting. These grooves here, on a sort of a modern Makita tool, they'd have a ball bearing sat in there and that would look a little bit different. It would just be like a hole. But this one, instead of using ball bearings, before ball bearings they were using this. And there's a little bit of metal that sits in like that. And it releases, when you put the actual SDS bit in, it pushes this out a bit and then it clicks itself in. So they must have decided at some point the ball bearing idea was better. Whether it was easier to produce or whatever, not sure. So this is how roughly a rotary hammer drill works, kind of, in an old school way. Now this has got just a hammer only. It doesn't have any kind of like adjustment for normal screw, normal drilling or just chiseling. This is just hammer. You can't do it. It's just it's simple. It's an SDS hammer drill. Now if you want to put it into reverse, look at this little cute little switch there. That's it. Forwards and backwards there. Let's check that works. It sounds, yeah, let's have a look at a comparison with this one and see if they sound, one of them sounds better. Right, we'll go for this one, older one first. Ooh, this one's got a little scream to it. Right, okay. So what we're going to do now, this won't balance, hang on. What we're going to do now is we're going to get these drills and we're going to take them outside. I've got a bit of concrete to drill, so we're going to see which one is the best. Now you're going to say that this one's going to be the best because it's the newer. Not necessarily. This one I think has got a bigger motor. Not sure about this one. So this one is about, could be over 30 years old, and this one is actually only about 17 years old, and this one's about 7. So let's go outside and do some drilling. Right then, we'll come outside to do some drilling. Pepper, out of the way. Go on, shoot. Right, I've got my new-ish Makita CXT 12 volt SDS. I've got a 5.5mm bit in. I think this is a Bosch bit. It's got 4 carbine end bits in it. So this is a bit of concrete. This is actually a little bit of a lintel. You can see the 2 rebars in here. Quite tough going. Normally wouldn't use this kind of drill on for drilling here. I'd use my bigger SDS, but we'll see how this performs. Okay, let's go for it. You can see that's quite slow. Yes, if you were doing this all the time, it would be way too slow and underpowered for doing this bit of concrete drilling. But occasionally it'd be all right. But let's see if this older SDS drill, we'll go for the mid-range, the mid-dated one. Oh, that's quite hot, that actually. What a surprise. Okay, we'll give this one a whirl. See if this is one any better. Now this is interesting. Although this seems to run slower than this one, a little bit slower, it has actually more power. The actual mechanism, the hammer mechanism in here, must be slightly bigger than this drill. So this drill's done all right. Like I said, it's into concrete. For this drill, into concrete, I'd say no, it's not very good. But let's try the really old one. Obviously, it's not a fair fight really, because obviously the original drill would have a nickel cadmium battery in there, which I haven't got, but I've put this battery in, so an LXT battery in it. Let's get the bit into it. To get the bit into on this one, you've got to pull it back like that, and it's a bit, yeah. Hang on. There, it's locked in now. Let's give this a go. Sounds like a bag of spanners. Anyway, let's have it a go. Right, that is hard concrete. Yeah, it's slow, it's done it. All 3 drills have done it, but I don't think they've done too bad. But all 3 have performed, as you can see. into concrete drilling, which is the hardest type of drilling you can do really. Not really suited for this drill, but all these ages of drills, all these years of drills, almost like this one could be nearly, blooming heck, coming up to 35 years old, but it still performs okay. Obviously they're all in quite good nick. So there you go, it's been drill wars. 3 drills against each other from different ages, and they've all performed. So there is life in 12 volt yet. And if you kind of see these 12 volt SDS drills online somewhere and you fancy a cheap hammer drill, a rotary hammer drill, these might be the drills for you. Okay, thank you very much for watching another one of my daft videos. Pepper, what are you doing? You're going to get that stuck in your mouth. You're in the bog. You're in the bog. Look at your tail. Right, okay. Pepper, what do we say? Random is rad. Rock on.